All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Last night, another sweep, 3-0. We had the Nuggets and the Cavs over. That cashed. We had the Sixers minus 3.5. They were losing by like 20,000 points. I think it was actually 17 points. They come back to win by 5 and cover the 3.5. Cash it again. And then our last play was the Thunder +2. Boy, what a sweaty night all around. The Thunder end up losing the game by 1. So let's get one last cha-ching for last night, guys. But yeah, welcome back to the channel. If you are a returning viewer, if you're new, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video, all that good stuff, guys. We are on a heater. I said it in yesterday's video. I was like, will the heater continue after the All-Star break? So far, we're 1 for 1 in days. We are killing it as of late. And yeah, I think we're up like 12, 13 units in February alone. So let's see if we can keep our foot on the gas. That is pretty damn impressive, even by my standards over here. So let's see if we can keep it going, guys. We're going to jump into each and every game like we always do here on the channel, guys. We'll give you my lean on the spread, a lean on the total. We'll talk about the game. I'll give you my insight, but my final plays will be in the pinned comment. We talk about every single game, but what I'm actually going to be rolling with, if you guys want to ride with me or if you want to fade me, those plays will be in the pinned comment, the first comment here on the video. So make sure to check that out. I update it throughout the day, so make sure to keep an eye on that. But let's go ahead and jump into the first game here. We have the Wizards, 1.5-point dogs at home, hosting the Knicks. Total sitting at 225 right now. Last time these two teams played was mid-January. Washington were 5-point dogs. They won the game 116-105. They won it outright. They played a few days before that as well, and the Knicks won 112-108. It's the last two times they played. They have been pretty close here, which is why we're looking at that spread, if I were to assume, because the Knicks are a better team than Washington, but Washington kind of has been a little surprising as of late. They've won 4 of their last 5. They've covered those 4 of their last 5. Now, the competition hasn't been all that crazy for them, but nonetheless, 4 of the last 5 they have covered in. Bradley Beal is questionable, so we're going to want to keep an eye on that one here. My lean in this one, though, I know I just kind of gassed up Washington. I kind of meant what I said when I said the Knicks are truly the better team. So I'm going to lean towards the Knicks here. I don't know if this becomes a final play. Keep an eye on the pinned comment. I'm not 100% confident in it yet, but that's why we do it the way we do. We give the lean, and then we also kind of look throughout the day at the game in a deeper lens and stuff like that. And if I put it in the pinned comment, it means I'm pretty damn confident about that. I also like the over in this game as well. We did see 2 games like we just referenced, right? Those 2 games they played didn't really push the limit when it comes to the points. I think this one kind of flips the switch here, especially if Bradley Beal is a go. Obviously, keep an eye on him, but obviously he is a walking bucket. So I'm going to lean Knicks minus 1.5 here and over in terms of the total. Moving on, we got Cleveland taking on Atlanta. Again, Cleveland was one of the teams that helped us out in that over last night against the Nuggets. That one cashed. Atlanta 1-point favorites at home. Total sitting at 226 as of right now. They played back in November, and Cleveland won 114-102. In their last 10 games here, Cleveland 6-4 against the spread. Atlanta 5-5 against the spread. And on the road, Cleveland is playing really well. Last 4 games on the road, 3-1 against the spread. No major injuries for them, but I will say, keep an eye on the injury report. They are on a back-to-back, so, you know, guys that maybe they shouldn't be resting because they just got some rest with the All-Star break, but keep an eye on that. There's a back-to-back concern here. In terms of injuries for Atlanta, John Collins is out and Trae Young is probable as of right now, but keep an eye on that Cleveland team here. For whatever reason, this spread's kind of geeking me out here. I feel like Cleveland should be favorites against this Atlanta team, so I'm going to lean Cleveland plus the 1 point. Again, something's telling me that there's a chance that these guys are going to sit out or not play a full workload, something like that, just based on the number. And that's just me using my brain, not really analytically backed. I just think Cleveland should be favorites in this game, and the fact that they're not tells me Vegas may know something. So sometimes you just got to trust the numbers, guys. But, you know, if everything plays out accordingly, I'm going to lean Cleveland, even though they're on a back-to-back +1. And in terms of a total, I think this one pushes that mark as well and goes over. Moving on, we got the Bucks hosting Miami. Bucks 1.5-point favorites. Total way down at 219, but I guess that makes a little bit of sense here. This Heat team really not scoring that many points, holding their opponents like 115 or less type of thing. So this Miami team's playing decent defense. Kyle Lowry's out. Kevin Love is upgraded to probable. He was obviously acquired by them. In terms of Tyler Hero, he's also on the injury report. He is probable. For the Bucks here, Wesley Matthews is out. Giannis is doubtful. Pat Connaughton doubtful. Chris Middleton upgraded to probable. And Jay Crowder upgraded to probable. Interesting. And Bobby Portis also looks like he is going to get the run. Like I said, this defense, both these two teams can kind of grind it out. I know it's crazy, but I'm going to lean under first and foremost here. And in terms of a spread, you'll have to forgive me, but I'm going to wait to see what truly happens with that injury report. Both sides have an injury report as long as the Webster's Dictionary. So we're going to kind of wait that one out. I don't want to give a spread pick on this as of right now, but I do like the under in this one. I don't know if it becomes a final play. I don't really love this game tonight, but that is going to be the lean and really the only lean on the game that I have. Hopefully that is all right. All right, moving on. We got the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Charlotte Hornets here. Minnesota 6.5 point favorites. Total all the way up there at 241 in this one. They played in mid-November here, and the total's way down there. They finished at 218 points. Charlotte won that game. They played last February as well, so I guess a year ago almost. And this one went way over. So I'm assuming that Vegas thinks that is more of the track record or type of game between these two teams. In their last 10 here, the over has hit 6 times for Minnesota, but only 3 times out of the last 10 for Charlotte. So my first and foremost play, we're going to the total here, and we're looking at the under. I think this one could stick around like the low 230s, which in terms of where I think it's going to go and project it's going to go, and Vegas has it, that is like a 10 point plus margin here. So I'm going to lean towards the under in this one. And then in terms of the spread, I think that's a lot of points to give Charlotte. They haven't been great. I'm not trying to say they've been great, but 1-4 against the spread on the road. I actually had my numbers flipped. Still going with Charlotte, but a little egg on my face there. But I do think that Charlotte, that's a lot of points to give. The play here, if I do end up pulling the trigger on this game though, will be the under. I don't like either side that much. I don't trust Minnesota to cover 6.5 points, and I clearly thought that Charlotte had a different trend here. I had my notes flipped here. All right, moving on. We got Chicago taking on the Nets. Chicago 2-point favorites here. Total sitting at 223 in this one. These two teams played just a couple weeks ago. Brooklyn won 116 to 105. They played in January as well, and Chicago won that one. And then they played in November, and Chicago won that one as well. In their last 10 games here, though, Chicago struggling 3-7 against spread, whereas Brooklyn, trade, no trade, whatever's happening, 7-3 against spread in their last 10, but they've been doing it at home. 7-1 in their last 8 against spread at home. 0-2 on the road. It might be a crazy pick here because this Brooklyn team's playing well. So I'll sound the psycho alarm here, but I'm actually going to lean towards Chicago. Now, one thing you want to note is the injury report for Chicago. They got a bunch of guys on there. Most notably, DeMar DeRozan is probable here. So if he doesn't go, then I probably stick away from this game. But if he plays, I do like Chicago -2 in this one. And in terms of the total at 223, I like the under here. That is a low total, but I could see this one being a grinded out type fashion game. I'm going to lean towards the under. All right, moving on. OKC, who covered for us last night, the Rumbling covering Thunder here, taking on the Suns. Suns 7-point favorites, total 230.5 here. Yet to play this season. In their last 10, though, 6-4 against the spread are the Suns here. 6-4 as well for OKC. OKC's coming off the back-to-back. I know they kept it close with Utah and, almost won that game ultimately, but then did lose by 2. This Phoenix team coming off a loss to the Clippers pre-All-Star break. So I think that they come out with a little bit of fire. In terms of injuries here, Kevin Durant out here, obviously. Payne is questionable, so you want to keep an eye on him, I guess, if that's going to tickle your fancy either way. But regardless of that, if they have Book, if they have CP3, and they have DeAndre Ayton, I do think that this is a spot for the Suns here. Now, it's a lot of points, but I'm kind of banking on that back-to-back where the Thunder kind of gave it their all last night to try and win that game. They come out a little sluggish tonight here. So Suns -7 is my lean. Then in terms of total 230.5, this probably is crazy because these are two teams that can get hot, but I'm going to lean towards the under. All right, Warriors 10-point favorites over the Rockets. 231 is our total here. They played in December, and Warriors won by 19 points. Not surprising, though. One thing I will say, Warriors coming off that game last night against the Lakers. They lost, what was it, 12, 13 points here. Steph Curry still out. Andrew Wiggins is downgraded to doubtful. I think that's a lot of points to give Houston, so I don't want to do the psycho alarm again, but I think the 10 points is a little bit too much to give Houston, especially when the Warriors are coming off a back-to-back. So does this become a final play? Probably not. Like, I don't think I trust Houston with my money, but in terms of a lean, if I'm just giving out leans here, I think that's a lot of points to give on the back-to-back here, especially when the Warriors, they looked okay at times last night, but didn't look all that great. So I'm going to lean towards Houston +10, and then also the under in this one, 231. All right, Clippers taking on the Kings. Clippers 6.5-point favorites, total 236 in this one here. They played in early December here, and Sacramento blew them out 123-96. Now, I will admit that's kind of before, I guess we could say, the Clippers kind of got their stride and started playing a little bit better here. Russell Westbrook is actually upgraded to Pro Bowl. Obviously, he was bought out and then signed with the Clippers here, but no Zubac for the Clippers. That could be a miss for them. Obviously, that big man in the middle here. Sacramento covered 2 of their last 3 games against Dallas and then Portland. They did take an L to Phoenix, which is a pretty bad L here. But the Clippers on the other side, 9-4 against spread in their last 13 games. But is 6.5 points too much to give? I say yes. So because I don't fully trust where the Clippers are at right now, I'm going to lean towards Sacramento plus the 6.5 points here. And then in terms of a total 236, we've surprisingly, every time we take an under here with the Kings, it seems to cash. So I'm not going to question the man upstairs. Something's working right now. We're going to lean towards the under 236 in this game as well. Again, last time they played, kept well under that number. Last 2 times they played, actually. So, guys, that is all I have for you guys. I hope you guys do enjoy. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next video, all right? Peace out.